The release of the original PlayStation in 1994 ushered in a golden era for role-playing games. The advanced technology of the PS1 allowed RPGs to be bigger, bolder, and more beautiful. None more so than the Final Fantasy series, with 3 incredible mainline titles and several spin-offs. The PS1's RPG catalogue is so vast, however, if you've only ever played the Final Fantasies, you're missing out. Some of the greatest RPGs of all time were released on the PlayStation, and they're well worth playing even now. The following are 6 of the best RPGs that aren't Final Fantasy. Breath of Fire 3. A colourful cast and a jazzy soundtrack bring life to this epic journey. The game opens on a group of miners who have inadvertently unearthed Ryu, the last of the Brood, a race of humans who can transform into dragons. Confused, Ryu escapes the mines and eventually ends up in the care of 2 wandering thieves, Rei and Tipo, who believe him to be an abandoned child. What follows is an incredible journey of discovery. Ryu, split from his friends, searches to find them while searching for his own purpose and meeting some colourful characters along the way. The gameplay is fairly typical RPG stuff. Encounters are random and battles are turn-based, with each character gaining levels and skills as the game unfolds. There are a few unique elements to it though. The master system allows each character to apprentice under a different master, NPCs that you can find throughout the world who can teach new skills and influence the character's growth. There's also a few different mini-games throughout the world, such as the Breath of Fire mainstay, fishing. Ryu can also transform into several different dragons depending on your choices, and your team can be set up in different formations for a tactical advantage. The world is lush and beautiful, with 2D sprites in 3D environments. Everything is bright and colourful, unlike many of the more realistic looking games of the time. The music adds a fun atmosphere to the whole experience. It's very jazz inspired and upbeat, bringing an essence of joy to proceedings. Overall, it's a very fun game, with loads to do and plenty of challenges. The sequel, Breath of Fire 4, was an incredible game too, so I'd recommend either if you're looking for a good experience. If you're enjoying this video so far, why not hit that like button? You can also subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications for all new content. The Grandstream Saga. One of the first fully polygonal RPGs with plenty of action, puzzle solving, and a great story. You play as Eon, a young man from a small town on a floating continent. All the continents in the world are being held in the air by magic, a magic that is failing, meaning the continents are slowly falling and will eventually sink into the sea. After encountering the spirit of a wise man who warns of things to come, Eon sets off on a dangerous journey to every continent in order to recite the lifting verse and save the world. Grandstream was one of the first fully polygonal RPGs ever created, which was a pretty big achievement at the time. As a consequence, the game looked fantastic. By today's standards, it's obviously not that impressive, but at the time it was incredible, and combined with its anime-inspired FMVs, it's a very good-looking game. It plays similarly to a modern RPG, which made it slightly ahead of its time. As you explore the world, puzzle solving and interacting with NPCs, you can encounter monsters. When you do, the camera angle shifts and you enter battle mode. These are real-time, one-on-one battles where you can make use of different weapons and magic spells to best your foes. Unlike most RPGs, you don't gain levels by winning battles, but at set points throughout the game, although you can augment Eon with different weapons and armour. The storyline is intriguing and unique, enhanced by the great voice acting during the FMV sequences. The battle mechanics are fun, and because you can't just grind levels, every area is its own challenge too. Unless of course you take advantage of a glitch early in the game, which allows you to get the best weapon long before you're supposed to. However you decide to play, it's a great game and a fantastic experience even today. Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tamamayu. Short, but a deep and complex monster breeding system creates loads of possibilities to play. Jade Cocoon sees you take on the role of Levant, a young cocoon master with the ability to pacify minions, mainly bug-like creatures that reside in the forest surrounding his village. You must journey through the different forests, taming minions along the way, on a quest to save the villagers from a demon's curse. As you explore the various forests of the game, you'll get into battles with minions, which you can choose to fight and defeat, or capture. Battles can take place against one or multiple enemies, but you can only fight with one at a time. You can, however, switch between up to 3 minions as well as Levant. Every minion that you capture can then be made an ally, which can fight in battles for you. They all have unique elements and abilities. It's also possible to fuse minions together, creating new minions with characteristics of its parents, both visual and practical. Once you complete the game, you also get access to the Eternal Corridor, a never-ending dungeon of randomly generated corridors with new minions to encounter. I won't lie, the gameplay can be a little slow. By today's standards, everything does take a bit longer than you would want it to. However, if you're patient, you get to experience one of the most rewarding and complex monster management systems in gaming. Every time you fuse two minions together, you get something unique, so you're constantly switching up your party with new and more powerful combinations. The story isn't anything to write home about, but it's a good looking game with art by Katsuya Kondo, who did work on a few Studio Ghibli films. It's also a short game, but you'll probably want to play it more than once to try out some different monster combinations anyway. Overall, it's a decent game and it's worth playing purely to try out the monster management. It's certainly a flawed game. If you were making it today, it could be something spectacular, but it's worth playing to see its potential. Wild Arms. Westerns meet fantasy in this inspired journey filled with mystery. Set amongst a world devastated by a war that took place 1,000 years ago, you play as three characters, Rudy, Jack and Cecilia. Our heroes have banded together and are pulled into a quest to save the world from the once defeated forces of the Metal Demons, and their leader, Mother. After 1,000 years, they've returned to finish the job they started, to take over the world and make it their new home. The setting is a really interesting one, informed by the context of the story. In the distant past, when this war was raging, the people of Filgaia developed incredible technologies, but because the war so incredibly devastated the planet, very little of this technology remains, and so the characters inhabit a world which has part medieval and part western influences. It's a great concept and really helps to imagine the depth of character to the story and setting. Like any typical JRPG of the time, you explore the world entering towns and dungeons from the overworld, interacting with NPCs and getting into random battles. Battles are turn-based, with each of your three characters having unique abilities. Cecilia is your spellcaster, Jack is your sword-wielding tank-like character, and Rudy makes use of unearthed weapons called Arms, which look a lot like different modern guns. As the game progresses, you unlock new tools to use on the overworld, like bombs or a grappling hook, with each character again being unique. You must use these to explore and solve puzzles. It keeps the gameplay fresh and challenging. Wild Arms is a really fun RPG. The world is huge, so there's plenty to explore, and having to use your tools to solve the puzzles keeps the dungeons fresh rather than just a slog of random encounters. The battles are fun too, with plenty of unique abilities to try. It's got a cool setting and a nice soundtrack. Altogether, it's a really fun game that still holds up. Grandia. A fantastic adventure with a charming cast of characters, inspiring music and dynamic gameplay. The game centres on a young boy named Justin who dreams of becoming an adventurer. Gifted a mysterious spirit stone by his departed father, Justin sets out to learn the truth of the artefact. Accompanied by his best friend Sue, they discover it to be an artefact from a long lost and powerful civilization. This puts them on an incredible journey to the end of the world and beyond, as they try to uncover the civilization's secrets, meeting new friends and competing with the fiendish Garlisle forces along the way. Generally speaking, the normal rules of RPGs apply to this one. You explore the world, defeat enemies and level up your characters as you go, augmenting them with new equipment, spells and abilities. Enemies are all encountered in the overworld and touching them starts a battle. If you are sneaky enough and catch them off guard, you start with an advantage, but of course the enemies can do the same to you, potentially leaving you in a right pickle. The battles take place on a plane, which the characters can move about on, mostly at the game's discretion. By using your abilities, you also level up, allowing you to unlock stronger spells and attacks. Level up enough in parallel spells and you can even learn combined abilities. For instance, having high enough levels in wind and water magic gives you access to ice spells. This makes it a lot of fun trying to level up your spells to see what cool new moves you can unlock. The best part about this game though is its absolutely charming cast of characters. The game is fully voice acted, so every character has their own unique personality and quirks both in and out of battle. Each character even has their own battle cries for every ability, and a lot of them are so fun you'll find yourself yelling them aloud as you activate them. The story is truly a great adventure. The premise of trying to unravel the mysteries of an ancient civilization is a simple one, but the execution is fantastic. You'll be dying to find out what happens next after every area, with Justin's optimism driving you ever forward. This is by far one of my favourite games on the PlayStation, and frankly one of the best RPGs of all time. It doesn't get nearly enough plaudits, as it is often overshadowed by more popular series, but its charm is undeniable and its themes stand the test of time. Grandia is an amazing game and still well worth playing to this day. Suikoden II. The stars of destiny align in this exciting RPG packed with thrilling moments and epic battles. The second entry in the Suikoden series takes place roughly 3 years on from the events of the first, with a brand new silent protagonist, Ryu, the adopted son of Jade Cocoon, a hero who saved the city-states of Joustin in a war against Highland many years ago. Betrayed whilst on a mission, Ryu and his friend Joey eventually each come into possession of one half of the Rune of Beginning, one of the 27 true runes which sees them get caught up on either side of a new Highland invasion in a war for the fate of their homeland. The gameplay is incredibly varied, giving players lots of different things to do. The majority of combat takes place in a typical turn-based format, much like many JRPGs of the time, with up to 6 playable characters in a party. Each can be equipped with varying weapons and armour, and up to 3 runes that grant magic and other abilities. Certain aligned characters can also perform unite attacks, which allows them to combine their powers to great effect. Throughout the game, you will also take part in duels, which are played similarly to rock, paper, scissors, with the enemy's battle cries giving a clue as to which move is coming next. There are also massive army battles, which are different from those in the previous game. You build units and arrange them on a grid, picking them against enemy units to achieve the target. The thing that generally makes Suikoden unique though is the quest to recruit the 108 Stars of Destiny. 108 heroes who are destined to band together to defeat a great evil. As you recruit new characters, you see your base of operations grow and expand, creating new amenities and unlocking new minigames and characters for your party. Some recruits join throughout the story, but many have to go out and find. Some are as easy to recruit as talking to them. Others have unique requirements such as fetching an item or proving your worth in different ways. It's so much fun figuring these out, and a joy each time you can add a new character to your army. The plot is deep and engaging. Despite the massive amount of characters and the implications of the ongoing war, it manages to stay rooted in the relationship between its main characters Ryu, Joey and Nanami. Throughout the journey, Ryu has to constantly evaluate his life and whether he really wants to continue fighting his best friend or just give up and run away. Key decisions along the way determine how the story ends. Some endings are heart-wrenching and tragic, others are beautiful and joyous. The story is emotional and impactful, and it keeps you gripped until the end. Suikoden II is probably the best game in the franchise and definitely one of the greatest RPGs of all time. The gameplay is incredibly varied and fun, and even if it wasn't this, would still be a great journey purely for its unbelievable plot. If you haven't played it, you should. You won't regret it. And those were 6 of the best RPGs on the original PlayStation that aren't Final Fantasy. Thanks for watching. Remember to like this video and subscribe for more classic gaming content. And don't forget to check out some other videos.